Hello, my beautiful blossoms. It's me, Shigure Oshiro, and welcome back to another live stream. I chose to do another Minecraft live stream because my console tends to overheat due to the fact that I basically just don't want to be too warm again. So yeah, I just know that I need to do things. This is an entirely fresh world. Uh, but yeah, I just know that overheating in my room is not a good idea for the summer because then I feel like it's getting close to the summertime. Like June is basically getting closer and closer every day. So it's like if I get too warm in my room, I'm gonna be so dehydrated. Therefore, I have to kind of limit what I do. More often than not. So yeah, it's basically one of those things where it's like I could do what I originally planned to do, but it's like I don't want to overheat because I'll sweat a lot, which will cause me to get dehydrated. I'm basically a space here, in a sense, because it's like I can literally take up all the cold air. It's basically why I need an endless source of that. So do with that what you will. And all that, at the end of the day, it's just one of those things where it's like, I'll have to get things taken care of. So I don't have to deal with the time crunch. I just want to do something that's easy, not so tiring. Because otherwise I'll just end up screwing myself over. I still hope that the volume is loud enough. I feel like I'm getting stuff, I don't know. So yeah, I just need to take care of things before I have to literally start doing time crunching. Like, it's bad if I... Oh. Hello. So yeah, it's just bad enough to have to deal with like a lot of things behind the scenes and all that currently, and then... I'm not gonna go on the tangent again because I know that... Yeah, I'm currently playing by myself. Playing for fun. I'm not really sure what you're saying okay to, but you do you. So yeah, I just know that I went on a tangent in the previous live stream, which was shorter than this one. Well, I have things set to invite only, so... There's that. I could, but the thing is that due to the fact that I'm playing on console, I'd have to send an invite to whoever has like a Microsoft account, or even a PlayStation account, whichever. It's that if I do the invite main thing via the game I've had with people. I'm playing on PS4, specifically my PS4 Pro, but since this is Bedrock Edition, cross-platform is an option, so I can play with whoever. However, I just know that I don't really have a lot of... I don't play with people that I don't know in most cases these days, because one times that happened, one times I allowed someone to join me, I experienced some weird chunk-related issue, and that caused a lot of lag, and then it's really hectic. I'm not worried about speedrunning. I'm mainly playing for fun, but, you know, you do you at the end of the day. Speedrunning is not really my thing. I tend to take things easy. And just relax. Okay, not really sure what to say about that, but okay. So yeah, there's just not much that needs to be said in response to what you decide to bring up for the entire speedrunning thing, because it's just not something that I'm too worried about, personally. If I'm just playing for fun, more often than not, there's really not much point in me doing that type of thing myself. Okay. Not really sure what else to talk about, because it's like, going on another tangent, no one's gonna be there for that. You know, one's gonna sit around and listen to that stuff. So yeah, in terms of speedrunning, for those of you who don't know, I just don't really worry about that type of thing that much in general, so it's just not something I need to worry about as much compared to other people. Like, it's one thing if it's like a game I know how to play well enough, but Minecraft has changed a lot throughout the years, so it's like there are things that I haven't been keeping myself up to date with, and then there's the fact that I just don't really play any other difficulty that's not peaceful in most cases. So it's like I can speedrun some things, but not everything, and then yeah, it's like I'm playing Minecraft as like a game I play for fun, like during my free time. I'm not gonna worry too much about new features. I'm not gonna worry about much about using ones that I just know nothing about, because it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I could pull up tutorials, but at the end of the day, it's just, gaming is just a hobby for me. It's not something I need to be known for necessarily, even though I'm known for my gaming content in some sense or another. I could play a variety of games that isn't just Minecraft as well. Like, I've played Star Wars Knights of the Republic, like both those ones. I've played Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, in which case, you know, those are some phenomenal games. like, yeah, they're dated in a manner of speaking, but it's like, that doesn't matter too much in most cases. Like, it's one thing if I forgot how to play a game, then yeah, it's gonna essentially matter. Or if there's like a game that caught my eye but I wasn't able to play it for whatever reason, I kind of have to stick with what I've got until I can get onto a platform that actually has a remake of it, if there's a remake, or at least able to play the original version, whichever the case may be. It's why I just do things the way that I do. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. For me, I know that in the last live stream, like in the previous one that happened last night, like, it was literally last night, because I only did one live stream. But, I mentioned that I've never played a Final Fantasy game, and that's because it never got my interest until sometime recently. So, there's that, and then there's also the fact that I just tend to have a lot of other games that are under my are within my radar, metaphorically speaking. Like, the Tales of series wasn't one that was involved until Vesperia was basically a thing. Like, that was basically the most recent one in the original version. Then they got into Berseria, Zestiria, and so on and so forth. I have yet to play the other Tales of games, at least the vast majority of them. There's basically a whole lot. And in terms of Minecraft, I'm probably going to do loads of these throughout the summer, because it's like, one, allows me to relax, two, I just know that I used to play it a whole lot, and I want to kind of try and get back into it as much as I can, and hopefully avoid whatever the hell the 2-week phase is. Like, I know that I avoided it once before, got tiring after a certain point, and that's it. Ooh. Ooh. Yes, perfect. I actually like Minecraft, and I have them out and say, know what I saw. I know pink leaves when I see them. I do like the biome. Sure, not the only one who does, but cherry blossom biome is basically one of my favorite biomes. It actually beats the jungle biome in some levels, despite the size. This is not the worst one I've seen. It's actually quite decent. Yeah, this is actually one of the smallest ones I've seen, but I'll still take it. Because these are hard to find. We're gonna set up base around here. I just need to find some materials if I can. I have to up the brightness, I don't know. Well, let's see. I think I can easily just wait until daytime comes around, because then the view is actually this coal right here. Right up here. Not taking down the cherry blossom trees, because, let's be real, replanting them is not something that needs to be sat through. At least, well, except living near the place, though, because, you know, it's the bare minimum for me. Like, as long as I'm near it, it's all good. If I were to be playing in the multiplayer world, I would be setting up the base on that one quite quickly. I actually still have my original multiplayer world, like the one I own personally. I played in a separate one in the previous live stream, and it wasn't hosted by me, so yeah, there's just a lot that goes on. Okay, so this will have to end around 4, and then yeah, so basically I can go on for a bit longer, at least for quite a bit, due to that fact. Like, since there's multiple live streams to do, I just need a lot of things to actually work out. Okay, so I'm gonna get a stone pickaxe going. I'll take 4 and then that. There you go. So yeah, there's just a lot of things I do throughout my day. Where it's like I have to do this thing and that thing, and then one thing leads to another, and then sometimes I just get sidetracked. I think for the second Minecraft live stream that I'll be doing today, I'm going to be working on the adventure map as planned. Because I know that's something that'll be important. I'm not going to set up everything, but I'm at least going to do the major buildings. For that, and that's... Wait, what the... okay. I think I did. Hello? Oh, I found a trial chamber. Oh, shit, yes. I don't have the difficulty set taken off the peaceful, so I can't do much. But yes, I found something good. Like 14 minutes into this, and I find the cherry blossom area, and this like pretty much 4 minutes later. Like, you can't make that shit up. Especially considering that happened in an actual live stream. I'll take the free water bucket. Actually, I'm gonna move everything. Snowballs. So I'm playing with like the peaceful mode on. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do much around here, but you know, if we're to be, if, this is gonna, one thing I was gonna say is if if this were to be like a stronghold. Now it's just before I sell the inside. Like if there were to be, stronghold, that'd be crazy. Lingering potions? I don't know how useful those are going to be, but okay. There's something in the hoppers either, which is fine, but then again, things without any people are down. Chests. Holy shit. There is basically a lot. This is actually my first time finding this on my own. That's pretty wild. I'm not even speedrunning, I'm just playing this game for fun. I really find this. I'm gonna have to clip this stuff so I can post it. Like on a different platform that's not just YouTube. Not really sure how to feel about exploring this place, because there's not much to do. I don't know what the plan of that is, but okay. The arrows, I'll take the sticks. Ooh, we got honeycomb? Oh, hell yeah. That's a hell of a find. More arrows. I don't need the one axe. Wait, is this supposed to be a doorway? Is that what this is supposed to be? Ah. It leads to nothing. It's a dummy doorway. Good to know. That's actually pretty cool. Okay. Bamboo planks. Okay, yeah. No, never mind. Not used to how the pots work. Okay, sugar cane. Actually, I don't really need this. I think I'll do. Just because I don't want to carry two separate water buckets. Let's see. What do I not need? Easily get cobblestones. I'll just take those. Yeah. So I'm not gonna be switching difficulties. Take that. one of these. This, that one could be taken care of. And there we go. I want to take that back. Not anything out of that. I'll take torches. There's specific ones that have loot. I don't know. Not too familiar with the trial chambers, so yeah, I think we got a good amount of things. Let's leave the trail in here so I don't have to come back to it. At least if I need any XP farming done, I can easily deal with this place. I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm trying to dig a hole somewhere in a wall just to get into this place. Okay, so basically I have to go back to this. I suppose it's starting point, if you can even call it that. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay. What to do now is just go all the way up. Here. This around. Good thing my thought process was quite delayed there, but well. Not fully with it due to being tired. I woke up was my lunchtime. I think I'm in a different part of the area. Torch here. That's lava. Unless I went there to basically not in here and all that. I was gonna do something with this stuff. Where down I was. Okay, okay. This makes a lot of sense now. So all I have to do is just around the edge. All I have to do is just get the coal and then deal with everything else. Alright. Most of this set of coal. I need to figure out where I put my stuff. So I placed furnace on the crafting table. Guess it's up there. Okay, okay. Alright. Going to deal with that, and now let's craft some. Just make a chest or two. Like, let me make waxed copper doors. Some grates. I don't know what to really do with that stuff. Let's see. Arrow of slowness. That's how you make tipped arrows. So basically, using a potion on 8 arrows. Starting to get. Call them tipped arrows because of Minecraft framework. For those of you who don't know, use that terminology. I know it's not perfect, but you know, I did play a lot of that. Bamboo planks. There. I think I'll light it up a little bit around here so I can easily remember where it came from. Okay. There goes that. Pickaxe after a while. Alright. I think I'm gonna get a lot of exploring down here. I'm just gonna do one single path because I know that whenever I do multiple paths from torches, let me get lost real quick. Basically, I have little to no sense of direction. In most cases. So do not go trusting me going around some locations. It's location is getting me confused. I think this is the biggest iron section I've seen in some sense. Again, I'm pretty sure I've seen bigger. I don't want to know. Hopefully that doesn't get taken out of context. Because I'd rather not be taken out of context for a lot of things. Like I say, because I do say things that can be taken out of context at times, and I don't want to risk cutting on those incidents right now. No problem. I'll get down there for iron. All that. I don't know why I said it like that. Oh god. There's a lot of stuff going on in my head and I don't even know what to talk about, so I'm just saying I'm probably just gonna ramble about random stuff, I guess. Because I know that I do like to bring up random stuff. I do have some other gameplays planned, but I don't know how all that stuff is gonna go. Or that stuff, because it's like I have plans for a lot of things. And it's like if I end up getting disorganized, I'm just going to end up screwing things up a lot. Why does everything look the same down here? sure I can figure it out if I... It's slightly up. Don't know what's going on outside of my room, so if my mic picks up voices from outside of my room, I do apologize for that. I have my windows all the way up. Okay. All I have to do is just follow the pathway back. There we go. As per usual. I also normally don't play without the starter or map, like the starting map or whatever. It's the fact that I even made this far without it is just nuts. I'm not even trying to go fast at this game. It's just that stuff I've been doing is just crazy. Direct andesite. $61 pieces of iron? Jeez. Don't think it's gonna be able to get all that taken care of. Like, it's rough, I don't even have a base yet, and I am literally managing everything. Might actually leave the world seed on a Twitter post, so that way not just having to show it off in the video or something. How many pieces of wool is that? 3, and in fact I already got the color that I wanted. Top of that, you basically have yourself a good time. Yeah. So 2 magenta dye. I'm gonna need, well, this. Actually, what I could do is make the dye change color. That's manageable. I'm just using 2 lilacs to make the dye that I need. Get that back up. Radio. Spin point has been set. And there we go. You know what? Up to there, and then like that. I do recall doing this one thing for getting some iron back when I actually needed it. I can't really remember how I did it. I remember doing it though. I think it needed like an anvil. Or something. Actually, I had to smelt the iron armor. Get the iron back, I think? Can't remember. That was the trick, or I'm thinking something else. I'll have to fact check my information. Fact check one of the things that I actually did, because it's like it could go in handy. The fact that I already have iron armor is nuts. I need 4 more pieces. Piece of armor. Fortunately, I already have the achievement for it, but I'm gonna get this taken care of anyway. Alright. I think that should do it. Wait for the iron to smelt. Oh, hello! How are you doing? That's good to hear. Alright, that should just about be it. Iron smelting, so I'm gonna make some torches. Oh, I have the texture pack turned on. It's the plastic texture pack. One of the oldest texture packs there is. It was basically popular due to the entire 360 version having it, so like basically the Xbox 360 version, PS3 version had it, and then it ended up on PC, and it's basically on all platforms these days. It's my favorite texture pack, though. So it's like I might as well just use it since I actually enjoy using texture packs when I can. Yeah, it actually is quite neat. It's basically a lot of fun to use. Ooh. Yay! Found diamonds, and I can tell that I found the deep dark as well. That fact I found all that next to each other is just crazy. Oh, 3 diamonds in one spot and then next a piece of gold. That 2 pieces of gold. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, yep, I found the deep dark, alright. I didn't recognize that area anywhere. Yeah, I wish that too, but unfortunately it's not a popular enough opinion for that. I don't think that'll ever happen. The good thing is I'm playing on peaceful, so if I really want to run through the deep dark, I can easily do that. So yeah, I actually enjoy the gold armor as well. Although I wish they would add emerald armor as well, because I know that there's like a mod for emerald armor, but I would like to actually see it added to the base game. Just because emerald armor sounds like a cool thing to have. You can't really go wrong with that. But then again, I'm just a huge sucker for the color green, so I just know that I'd love to see that. Yeah, Netherite is basically a bland colored variant of diamond armor when you think about it. But that's a hot take. In some sense, sure there are some people who find it kind of cool, but I prefer diamond armor because it at least has more color. Like, I prefer the brighter color armor at the end of the day. Although I do recall there being like a mod for like the PC version where you'd have like where there was like a variety of armor. You could even have like obsidian armor if you really wanted to, and it required a lot of work to get that because not only did you have to get obsidian, you also had to have like a modded item for that as well. And obsidian armor, if the mod is updated, in which case I wouldn't know because I don't remember the name of the mod or anything, but basically, yeah, obsidian would be the better version of netherite if we're talking about like mods, if I'm not mistaken. So, because it has overpowered defense. Like, yeah, it fills all the entire defense bar for like the armor, but it has more defense in comparison to like diamond. So basically, it outmatches diamond armor. But it's actually a lot cooler than the netherite armor that we have in the base game these days. So, that is a guarantee. Like, I think that the mod that had that. Yeah, I enjoy the cozy vibe as well, but I think in terms of the mod pack that had it, I know that I'm pretty sure it still exists anyway. It was the Star Wars mod pack that had the mod for obsidian armor and all that. Like, there was like a variety of mods in there. There was like Alien vs Predator mods, and along with some other stuff. I think there was like a Halo mod in there as well, which was pretty cool. Sadly, when I downloaded it, not all the mods wanted to work, but basically, you make lightsabers. You know that though, it's just a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed that. There's even the mod where you could go to the moon, which is actually enjoyable as well. Loads of mods to use in there. And I think there's like a computer type mod where you could basically go to space. Not just the moon, but the actual space. I actually like that. Sadly, I never could figure out how to get that going, but it's a lot of fun to use. And I recall doing, but sadly, I don't think everything wanted to work properly, so. You know, it's basically a lot of good stuff. If you're familiar with Minecraft YouTubers like I am, you'll know the exact Star Wars mod pack that I end up getting. Yeah, indeed it is. Although it's worse for me because I'm literally a human space heater. Like, I literally overheat quicker than you'd expect. Like, I wanted to play Tales of Arise today, but I just know that my console would basically sound like it's taking off. And it's like, considering the fact that I tend to overheat easily, I don't want to put up with that. So it's like, I basically have to do something that isn't going to cause issues for me at the end of the day. So it's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to replace the Tales of Rise livestream with the Minecraft livestreams just so I don't have to worry about overheating. No, that it's literally tedious to play with. Like, it's like if I have to play Tales of Arise for a live stream, I'm going to wait until the weather is actually more decent than this, so it doesn't feel like I'm overheating too much. It literally sucks. Because I actually was enjoying the Tales of Arise gameplay. Just in terms of the gameplay itself. And, you know, that was back when I was doing the gameplay series on YouTube, which was prior to when I lost track of where I left off and all that, because I had too many videos recorded. But I basically had to just end it where I did due to the fact that I had too many videos recorded. And I just couldn't keep track of which one was which without actually counting them properly, and I don't want to sit through that at the time. So it's like, yeah, I could have continued it on YouTube if I wanted to, but I have to make sure I have everything set up properly. Otherwise, I would have to have things in order and then set it up like a compilation. It's a real headache. When you think about it, so much goes into the thought process. Although nowadays I deal with a lot more than that. I literally have to deal with a lot more than that. Then after the 4 currently scheduled live streams are done, I basically have to put up with a huge time crunch for like the next 10 days. In which case, there's information about that on my Twitter account, but that's beside the point. It's basically going to be real hectic to get everything done. And then there's the fact that I have to get the entire horror game extravaganza stuff set up ahead of time, so it's like I have to time crunch for that as well, considering that summer goes by real quick, and then next thing you know, it's like fall. Or autumn, or whichever word you want to use for it, but it's real hectic. To just sit through all that. And I do a lot of the stuff on my own. Like, I tend to not... I just tend to do all the correction on my own. I don't normally ask for help, but I do know that for the next 10 days I'll be having help with getting things set up. Then I'll have to do, like, loads of background music creation. And then I'll have to deal with writing the script. It's gonna be real hectic to get my new series started. Not the kind of start you'd want. At the end of the day, it's just one of those things. Where it's like you have to time crunch for one thing or another, and then just leads to a lot of shenanigans. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna get through all the stuff I've planned. Now, and having a lot of help, like I'd have to, like at this point, I may as well just figure out a way to get an entire production team up in this bitch. Because that's how hectic things are. I know that I can't really afford anyone, so it's like I'd probably be stuck asking for like people that can actually work for free, and I don't want to do that. Because that may not end well. Especially if the people that end up wanting to help me are people who still have school or college or what have you. I don't want to do that. Like, I know that there are people who do that, but I don't want to be one of those people without a good reason. Like, I'd like to actually have a good reason for that. If that makes sense. So, it's like I have to deal with the hectic shenanigans. That is the things that I do. All that, like... it's tedious. I feel like going around in circles. This place I can't even figure out where to go. This is why I should have probably been leaving a trail or something, but whatever. Okay, that did not go according to plan. There we go. So yeah, there's loads of stuff that I have to sit through. I don't know why you're holding back tears, but I'm not gonna judge, considering that things I do is pretty much difficult in my case, but now I talk a lot, I do tend to have like a throat that gets bugged from it all, and then my eyes are watering for no reason. Okay, fortunately organized this area, so let's start. Okay. I need to stop finding that dead end. Do you know how to organize that area? So I think I'll have to play look for staircase that I did for getting down here. That could take a while. I basically have over 600 hours in this game, but I don't go through the trial chambers because I know that generations are pretty much random, way too much. And then you have the fact that it can be tedious to navigate. Add on top of that. Yeah, I basically tend to go on tangents when I feel the need to. It's actually really refreshing. Because I'm sure there are people who will want to know this stuff at some point, and then they missed out on this. Then it'll at least be archived, in which case, you know that a Twitch Archives YouTube channel is doing decent. However, I do know that I'm gonna have to deal with the search system here, or for the archives themselves. Fortunately, I'm already caught up on archiving everything onto YouTube, so if I do take down the archives here on Twitch, it won't matter as much. Since it's like I already have everything archived. There's a lot of other stuff on my plate, though. It's hectic to manage it all. Things I do. It's not easy. Me putting up with it. Like, I'm even working on a Minecraft adventure map on top of it all as well, and that's a side project. Yeah, I'm glad that you are too. It's actually good to have someone who will actually listen. So, just ignore the fact that I archived the live streams that I've already done and all that. So, yeah, since I'm working on the Minecraft adventure map, it's like a side project. There's just so much for me to actually do in terms of that, and I have to write the series that connects to that, in which case then the adventure map is basically a prequel, and it's part of a set of adventure maps that I have planned out. This entire thing of its own, and that's basically going to be tedious, and I have to connect all of that to my VTuber lore, and then it's going to be hectic to figure out how that's going to work. Plus I have to design like loads of characters as well. There's just so much. Yeah, I do that when I can as well. I love doing that. Like, I know I did that on my previous Twitter account. Like, not my current main one, but the one before it. I did that quite a lot, where I just send the same reminders over and over. I basically did that because I felt the need to do so, and obviously that worked out quite well. However, I don't use that Twitter account anymore because it's like I kind of wanted to have a clean slate again in terms of things, but that stuff is following me around. Regardless, like, my past basically follows me everywhere I go. Okay, I don't know how I managed to smelt a total of 61 iron, and it's about to go to like 64 plus for this furnace, and I am low on coal for this. But yeah, there's just so much I have to work on. I have so much planned, and then I have, since the series that's gonna connect to my VTuber lore is gonna have over 100 episodes, and the fact that the Adventures of Shigure is gonna have the same situation going on with it, I have so much to work on. After literally do every single part of the production process single-handedly. So I have a lot of things ahead of me. No matter what I move on to. That on top of the fact I'm actually just not unemployed, which is why I have a lot of free time, that... I don't... Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are overloaded, but I started coming up with this... with all this stuff, like, during this decade, which means that I have to literally sit through the process little by little. Like, if I don't have things planned out in my head, I'm not gonna get things done, and then it'll be so disorganized, and I have to organize my disorganized mess, and then I have to... Like, fortunately I don't have to do that, because, you know, that's how it is, but when you have things planned at, like, a certain point in the current decade, it's, like... Things should have been planned out ahead of time, and yet that didn't work out. Yeah, I was basically in school for 2020, and I graduated in 2021. So it's like I did both, but since 2020 was the year where we exclusively had long-distance schooling due to the fact that schools were closed, I basically skipped my classes, only did the stuff that was brought at home, and that was it. And that was... And my mother was just getting emails about me missing my classes. Like, I didn't know how to do Google Meet at that time. So it's like I basically skipped class for an entire school year or some shit. It was kind of weird, to be honest, but I personally didn't mind. Because it's like, if I get to skip school, I'm basically able to just relax for a while. Fortunately, I passed. Crazy enough, I passed all that, and I never had to redo a single grade. Like, if you think about it, I basically got done with school with, like, the worst grades possible. Yeah, it literally is insane. And yet, yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like, I know that I was one of those special needs kids, but it's like, I didn't get it. It's like, after a certain point, I stopped getting excused for, like, unexcused absences. So, like, they still somehow passed despite that. It's literally... It's something I managed to do. I don't know how I did that. That entire thing. And that's despite the fact that a lot of the teachers there were nice, and I only had like a few bitchy ones that I just wanted to avoid at all costs. If I could help it. The craziness, though, it's like I'm still smart enough to just do whatever the hell I want to do in some sense. And I don't even do chores around the house or anything. Like, I'm basically that lazy. Obviously, I wanted to do long-distance schooling after schools reopened as well, because it's like I don't really want to go to school physically, especially if I'm tired as hell. All that. Like, yeah, I know I had to deal with the occasional chest pain situation, in which case, for whatever reason, I had no source. And I got that checked out. So, yeah, I basically cheated the entire system. Fortunately, I'm able to do whatever the hell I want nowadays. Otherwise, I would be screwed. I don't even know how in the hell I passed all my grades for like the school year and all that. Trust me, if you were to see pictures of my bedroom, in which case I know that I gave a certain cat pictures of my bedroom, you would see how bad it is in my case. Like, it's a pure example. It's not the greatest example, because my bedroom is literally one of the messiest rooms in the house. But, yeah. It's not great. Although, I do recall having, I think this was like around 10th grade, where I had math class as like the final hour of the day, because, you know, there was like 6 hours in the school day before the COVID hit and all that, and basically, in 10th grade, whenever I went to math class, there was like a good amount of it where I was getting things correct first try, even when it came to taking the notes for the class. So it's like, I don't know how that happened, but I momentarily peaked and then I downgraded again. On so many levels. How I even was so silent that I was literally put in a group of with a group of people that needed help with socializing skills. So I was able to skip classes without a problem. Due to that, like, it didn't last the entire day, but there'd at least be that 1 hour of the day where I just be able to skip a class, and that was just glorious. I don't even know, like, I wasn't even asked if I wanted to be involved with that. It just happened without my consent. But I still accepted it, so I'm complaining, because it's like, I would rather skip class as much as I can, if I can help it. Hell, there would be multiple times where I'd be dealing with my personal issues, and I would just be in the bathroom for like more than an hour. Just straight, like, no joke. I still got in trouble for it, because my mother got emails about me skipping class, but yeah, I basically do things that, I basically did things that were crazy. I didn't even do anything unusual in the bathroom. I would just deal with my personal issues for that long. I kind of hinted at what my personal issues are, but that's as specific as it's gonna get. Maybe I'm lucky in video games, but I'm lucky in real life. That, like, it's just insanity. I don't know how I got to the school years like that. It's like, I deal with selective mutism, so it's like, it's basically something that can be triggered if I get put under too much pressure. However, that wasn't a major deal. Like, I was able to get through most of my school day regardless. Like, it's bad enough that, like, obviously this only happened during, like, 9th grade and 10th grade, but I would basically be silent in the morning, and then due to the fact that my case manager was a bitch, like a disrespectful bitch, I'd have my phone temporarily taken away for part of the day or whatever. It's like, seriously. And like the first time that happened, like way before it became too much of a big deal for it to kind of be a daily thing, my phone was basically left on my case manager's desk out in the open. It's basically on the side that students can access easily, and I was able to just grab my phone and headphones and just walk out. And that was like dealing, like that was during like the second lunch period, because in my high school there were like 2 lunch periods as part of the first one, so basically I had to be I'd basically be doing whatever, and then that's basically, yeah, that happened. Yeah, the crazy thing is that the high school I went to had like 2 buildings. There was the west building and then the east building, but nowadays it's color-based, however it's still like the same buildings. So it's like there were 2 cafeterias. I was in the one that was in the west building though. So fortunately the classroom I'd be in during the second lunch break was in the same building. And I didn't even use a locker for the entirety of my high school years. Just, like, I used to have, like, a collection of pencils and, like, 2 separate inside pockets for my sweatshirt. Then have everything else in my backpack. And, yeah, it was basically a crazy time. Like, the classroom I went to for, like, the second lunch break, that was basically within walking distance. It was basically close enough for me to just walk there compared to, like, the opposite building. I barely had classes in the east building. Like, I only had, like, 2 classes there. One of them was health class, but that's beside the point. I didn't enjoy health class. That was actually one that I just didn't give a shit about too much. I didn't really pay attention, but I still somehow passed because I had a para to help and all that. So it's like, how in the fuck did I pass when I didn't do much of the work? Yeah, health class was a 10th grade thing. Yeah, I know that health class is crucial to deal with, but it's like, since I had a para that actually helped me get through it, it's like I didn't really need to pay attention too much. Like health class basically dealt with what you'd expect. And if you've heard the stories about it, it's basically that stuff. Yeah, I live in the U.S. So I live in Minnesota, in which case that's base. So, yeah, the school systems are quite different in comparison, I'd reckon. So do with that what you will. But yeah, health class was was the most boring class ever. Like, trust me, you would not want to be there for that. Because you basically have to learn about the birds and the bees and stuff like that. It's basically shit that's disgusting. Health class is my least favorite. I actually enjoyed math class the most. Math is actually a lot of fun. Like, I just had in math class for like the vast majority of my school years. I think I had it for all of them actually. But regardless, all of the math teachers that I had were pretty chill. So it's like, Yeah, I know. It's like there are literally a lot of people who hate math, and it's like math is literally one of the best classes. Health class, in my opinion, is just not it. I even had like reading class. Well, I didn't have English class, but I had reading class, which was close enough. Then I had social studies instead of history. So, yeah. I even had Woods class. So that there's also that. And then there's the fact that I went to summer school a lot, and there was like a lot of cool shit during that time. Like, summer school is basically half of a school day. Every day. For 5 days a week, so it's like great. Like, yeah, I was a special needs kid, and I had to. It was mandatory for me to go there, but it's like I wanted to go most of the time anyway because it's like those times are always a good time. It's not as bad as the regular school year. So yeah. Um, like I recall for like reading class for like ninth grade. Um, the first book that we read was Holes, and then we watched the movie after reading the entire book and all that. It was actually a fun time. I actually enjoyed that a lot. Then there was like Gulliver's Travels, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, stuff like that. Like, loads of interesting books. There were some I wasn't really too worried about, though, like The Indian in the Cupboard. Uh, okay, get your mind out of the gutter. God damn it. It, I swear, I swear, Holes is an actual good book to read. There's even a movie that connects with it as well. I am not making this up. Uh, I think one of the, if I'm recalling correctly, I don't remember my elementary school years all that much, but I think one of the books that one of the teachers I had was reading to the class at the time. I think one of the Harry Potter books was being read in one of the reading classes I had in elementary. Which was kind of interesting, but yeah. I don't know how you've never heard of Holes. Like, it's pretty popular in the US. But then again, since you're British, I guess that makes sense. Who am I to judge? At the end of the day. I'm not gonna go into the details about that, but if you look it up, you'll actually understand why it's actually good. I swear. It's nothing inappropriate. No seriousness though, it's actually a fun book to read. Very entertaining story and everything. Maybe slow paced, and there are times where it kind of does lore dumping when it comes to the movie itself, but I swear, once you get far enough, it actually gets real good. If I have to, I'll send you the Amazon link to the book so you can actually get it yourself if you can, and if you're interested. Because I know that it's something I'm familiar with. I can literally pull up images of the characters, and you might recognize them. You've seen memes that have those characters involved, and I don't know if there are any memes involving any of that, but I wouldn't be too surprised if there are. In all seriousness, no, though, school's pretty easy for me to sit through. The woods teacher that I had in high school would try and get me to smile via telling dad jokes, which is pretty funny. Yeah, because it's like, I smile when I want to, but you know, I'd always try and hold back a smile because there was a good amount of time where I just wasn't smiling a lot. So nowadays I actually do that, and you know, it's just something that randomly started happening again. So yeah, a lot of things happened throughout my school year. So much happened. So yeah, there's just a lot of things that happened. Crazy enough, in middle school, there was like one point where it was just the middle of lunchtime. You know, everyone was just most of the people in the cafeteria were just eating their lunch, and obviously it was one of the majority of people was eating their lunch. And there was like a couple students who were just fighting for whatever random reason. I wasn't even associated with whoever those people were. But it was just happening in the middle of lunchtime. It's like, why are you trying to fight during lunchtime of all times? Like, lunchtime is supposed to be the time where we're supposed to be eating, not fighting. And I mean, like, physically fighting as well. I think it escalated at that point a little bit. I was like on the outside of where that was taking place, so it's like I couldn't really get a good view or anything, and things just got crazy on so many levels. Like, I even recall in high school, I was on my way to one of my classes. I think it was like my 5th hour class, and basically, on my way there, I saw like 2 students being held back from each other because they were trying to get into a physical fight due to stupid stuff. Yeah, exactly. Why not just fill your stomach up with food instead of fighting? uh, like, at least I was never involved in any of the fights directly. Like, I've only heard about the ones that happened in middle school, and then I've only heard about one that happened during high school, and then I only saw one during high school. I think the one where I saw like 2 teachers holding the 2 students back, involved relationship problems because someone was getting pissed over like a breakup or some shit. I don't know of the exact context. I can only base off of what I heard for what this one student was yelling at the other. Obviously there was no response, but basically it was real hectic. At least I never got involved in any of that, since I was basically that quiet kid for the majority of my school years. Yeah. Lunchtime goes by so fast. But it's like once you're out of school, every day basically goes by so fast that it's like it never happened. Ugh. But school is just so hectic at times, though, because it's like, especially a quiet kid. I mean, like, yeah, you'd be able to mind your own business in most cases, but it's like if you have those teachers or even those paras that be bitchy towards you for no reason, it's basically stressful. And then you have to like deal with everything else in between. Like you have to deal with the classwork, you have to deal with the occasional homework, you have all this crazy stuff. Yeah, I yeah, there are times where I just go on YouTube just to watch some random videos and I get those back to school ads. It's like, I don't need those if I'm not going to school anymore. Like, that's how it is nowadays, but otherwise it's like, I don't want to go back to school. Because school just literally sucks. It's literally called hell for a reason. But that's basically why I enjoy the summer. It's like you have a lot of time to just sit back and relax. You don't have to worry about studying for anything. You don't have to worry about like teachers bugging you for like assignments. Although if you're unemployed like me and you're an adult, in which case I reckon you are, but in some sense, but yeah, it's crazy stuff. I don't know what it's like in Finland. I've never heard anything about what it's like in Finland, unfortunately. I keep hearing about how bad it is in most places. I'm probably not watching the right people or something, but you know, it's like in my case though, like nowadays I don't have to worry about going back to school, but it's like whenever I see those back to school ads, it's like, oh god, it's that time of year again for those people. I feel so bad for the people who actually have to go to school, because it's like no one actually wants to go. I don't know anyone who actually enjoys going to school. I just don't know anyone who actually does. Minnesota is at least decent for going to school, but it's like you still don't want to go to school in most cases. Yeah, it's like I had like a good amount of like bitchy teachers and paras, and it's like I swear they're just getting pissed off over the dumbest shit. Like there'd be times where I would just sit there critical thinking something, and during like my high school years, and I'd basically get bitched at for doing absolutely nothing. And it's like, what do you mean I'm doing nothing? If it looks like it made it, it looked like it. I was actually just thinking about how to get through some stuff, and it's like, can I just not be bothered? So that I can actually focus? Being a special needs kid is not really the greatest experience either. It's kind of worse than being a regular student. I swear to God. Maybe that's what it felt like for me, but you know, it's like when you have stuff that needs to get done that badly, especially if you get bitched at, it slows down the process. Like if you have those teachers or paras who are bitching at you for no reason, you basically have lots of pressure put on you, and since I have selective mutism, it's a lot worse. Yeah. Selective mutism is basically something that gets triggered when a lot of pressure is put on me for whatever reason. So basically I just don't say anything, and you do freeze up. Like, I am trying to work on that, like, avoiding that problem in some way, but doesn't really help. Like, I literally have to force myself to say something. And that's mentally exhausting in those cases, and it's just not really great for anyone. I actually never got bullied, despite that. How I was even the quiet kid, and I never got bullied. Which is crazy to think about. It's like, I am just that chill, where it's like, no one's going to target me. And I know that I was essentially the quiet kid in middle school as well, but there'd be the occasional times where I'd socialize. And I had so many pencils that there were some students that would just go up to me and ask for a pencil, and I never got those pencils back, but I never asked for them back, so it's like, yeah, they could easily just get pencils free of charge without having to ask the teacher if they could borrow one or whatever. It's like, so if the teacher's giving out the pencils, I was the one giving out the pencils. I made the teacher's jobs easier by having students come to me instead. Good times. And despite the fact that there were some students I knew who didn't go along, I was still friends with those students. Like, I was basically friends with, like, people from, like, both sides. So it's like, I never got targeted. Like, I was just there. Existing. Like, a lot of the time, it's just so hilarious. Because it's like, you hear about on how people get bullied in school, but it's like, in reality, it's not always the case, and I'm one of those odd ones in terms of that, because I never got bullied. I just had shitty teachers and paras, and that was it. So yeah, I don't know how in the world I got through school despite all that. How there's like even one point, like I know that this was during one of my high school years, and this isn't 10th grade related, but I think this was like 11th grade, because I recall like having this one grade where I missed so much school due to just not doing schoolwork, and this was like the second time to actually get caught up on schoolwork, essentially. And I basically had to do all of it within a day. And I still somehow passed. It's like, what is this shit? What is life at this point? School is just so easy for me. People were like, school is hard. But in my case, it's like, school was so fucking easy. But then again, if you're not a special needs kid, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So it's like, and that on top of the fact I started doing content creation in 2018, which is quite a long time ago at this point, you basically have someone who's overworking themselves quite a lot in that case. Like, I somehow managed to be a content creator and a regular student at school when I was literally in school. It was crazy. It's like I didn't really need to worry about getting noticed because it's like my very first YouTube channels were created in 2014. I started creating content during the summer of 2018. I just started making content. I've been making content since then, so it's like I've been doing this for quite a while. Like there are YouTubers that have been doing content creation for longer than I have, so same with like live streamers and all that, but seriously, it's crazy that I was able to get through so much in my life. Like when it came to school, it felt like I didn't even need to put any effort into it because it's like my grades are easy. Yeah, I basically, like during the summer of 2018, I used to have this, and weird schedule where it'd be like every other week I'd live stream, but I'd also do the occasion, but I was mostly doing live streams at the beginning, then I did videos in between, because it's like I didn't want to do stuff like, there were still the occasional videos, but it's like, quite crazy, since I basically had to start off with using shitty equality stuff. Like I was using an Android phone for everything. I even brought that phone to school with me, you know, that as well. And fortunately, I don't have that specific phone anymore because I had to change phones multiple times. But since school was made easier for me due to being a special needs kid, it's like I can just get through content creation and school at the same time, so it worked out. Like, I think the schedule I had when I started making content for like live streams was like every other week on a Friday or some shit, and there would be times where I just do content on the weekends as well because it's like I don't have anything better to do. Like I literally made my very first video out of boredom. It's like I may as well just do this, and I just guess as to how to upload it on a mobile device because I remember not being able to figure out how to upload a video onto YouTube, let alone how to live stream it. When I started, it's like, okay, now that I know this, I can just do this whenever the hell I want. No questions asked. It's crazy. So yeah, it's like I got like very iffy grades that I passed with, and I've been dealing with like content creation on top of that the entire time. Crazy shit. Like, school was just literally crazy for me at the time. Like, I don't know how I got through all of that. That's not including the fact I used to be involved with, like, random online drama for absolutely no fucking reason. Because I used to be one of those goody two-shoes people in that regard, where it's like I would help people who were dealing with online drama. As well, I mean, that was a lot of craziness in and of itself, but I stopped after a certain point because it's like, I just don't have that type of time on my hands to do that much. Like, it's one thing if it's just the quick and easy situation, but it's like I've done way too much of online drama related stuff to the point where it's like that's kind of what killed my online community. Because I was mainly known for gaming content and everything, and then I start going after random people because they're targeting people I was associated with, and then it's just so hectic back in the day for me because it's like once you start with dealing with violence and drama, it's like the maturity you had before for that just goes away. Like I recall just not bothering with loads of drama. And it's like as soon as I get on the internet, I deal with drama and stuff. Way too much history for that though, because obviously there are groups that I don't want to mention, and I know that one of them had to be dealt with via getting a truce with and all that, so it's like, yeah, no, I am not going to mention that group, because I know what could happen if I do, and I don't want to risk that. Oh, it's bad enough that I was part of a community that's full of kids, like basically minors. There's still loads of adults in there regardless, but basically, I was someone who got involved in the community that was in one of the communities that was dealing with hackers. If you're familiar with hashtag GotchaFall, you may have heard of it. I don't know, but basically, if you're familiar with that, I did temporarily get involved, but I kind of had to stop because I could have been a target of the hacking, and I didn't want to risk that, because it's like, if I'm doing things on my main YouTube channel, more often than not, I'm not risking it. So yeah, it's basically one of those random ass groups, and they were just hacking loads of people left and right. Like, if you had a Gotcha Life profile picture, you'd get hacked. If you had Gotcha Life content, you'd get hacked. If you had both, you'd get hacked. But I was associated with the Gotcha Life community and all that. I still currently am to some degree, but it's not to that degree, because it's like, that stuff is just not it. Like, it's one thing if I'm watching the videos, because, you know, there are times where I just get that bored. I don't really have much else to watch. Especially considering the fact that I really watch a lot of stuff. So much happens throughout each and every year. And since this year has been going smoothly, I don't really need to worry about it too much. Nor do I have to worry about, like, online drama nowadays. I don't really deal with that stuff unless, of course, I really have to. So yeah, it's just loads of things from one end to another. The good thing is that I never got popular enough to get noticed by other students in school for being a content creator and all that, so yeah, it's actually something that went smoothly. Like, I was just hoping not to get noticed, because it's like, if I start swearing, then the school's just gonna yell at me for that, and I'm gonna get complaints about that, and then, yeah, I don't even know if any of this that's at the schools I went to even watch my content, let alone any of the paras. For all I know, that could be the case. I wouldn't know. Yeah, I do know that there are some people who actually get noticed. But since I'm literally one of those smaller channels, and I never did anything trendy enough to get noticed, like, I never did anything trendy. I just stayed away from it, as many trends as I could. I don't be too surprised if I know nowadays, but since I'm no longer in school, they can't really stop me. Like, I know that there are places that have, like, actual teachers work at schools as like YouTubers and all that. Like I know there are those kinds of teachers, but if you have students that do that type of shit, that's an entirely different situation. Like trust me, it's 1 in a million to find teachers that do content creation on the side at school like that, and I never encountered any of those ones. Crazy enough, although one of the substitute teachers that I had could literally do a voice impression of Donald Duck. And that is just easy. Yeah, exactly. Like, I know I made a variety of content, but that's because I used to just be unsure of what type of content I wanted to do. I never went after trends. So, yeah. It's just easier that way. Hell, I used to just... Like, there was, like, one point where I downloaded random music, downloaded random GIFs, and then just turned it into a music video for absolutely no reason. I just sold those, like, GIF music videos or something. I don't have the video editor I used for that shit, though. It was a lot of fun to make. Make them, though. If I could get the video editor that I had again, I might do those on a separate channel. Because that shit was just fun. Alright, take as much time as you need. So yeah, there's just a lot of moments in school that it was just pretty chill in my case. Like, I've watched storytime videos about people who have experiences of their own to share, and I basically had like the most chill time of my life at school. Lots of crazy stuff. Lots of crazy stuff. Okay, so it's basically 4:08. I'm trying my phone for that. Okay. So yeah, there's just a lot I could share about my school years. That's never known publicly. That has never been shared publicly until this live stream. Shenanigans is basically one way to put it, but you know, it's in the best way possible, so something. I just literally know for a fact I've been through a lot. Things on the internet. Like I've watched a variety of YouTubers. I got into Minecraft, I think around like 2011, 2012, somewhere around there, I think. I can't remember the exact year. But, yeah, I basically started playing Minecraft from that point. So there's that. Obviously, I already mentioned my history with Minecraft via some YouTube videos that are around, to say the least, but dealing with the amount of stuff I've done, is basically crazy. Like, I do not recommend going through the amount of things I did. Unless, of course, you really want to mature too fast, in which case, I would say find a better way to deal with that. There's just a lot to talk about in terms of what I've been through, what I've experienced, things like that. In which case, it can be categorized into separate things, because that's how it is. It's basically how broad of a topic it actually is. Not really sure what else to talk about in terms of the stuff I've experienced in school, but I do know that there's obviously plenty of stuff I could probably bring up. I just don't know what else would really be interesting. Because it's like, yeah, I could talk about a whole lot of other stuff relating to it, but it's like, I don't know if it's gonna be interesting. It may not be worth mentioning without a good reason. Or something. So yeah, just do keep in mind that there are going to be a lot of things going on in between, like having overloaded stream schedule is one thing, just having an overloaded schedule in general is one thing, but it's like if you live stream like every day, you're crazy. And I don't know how anyone can have that energy. Because I know that there are people who literally set up 24/7 live streams. I don't know if that's automated stuff or not. I've seen that stuff being recommended before in terms of like YouTube content. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna watch it, but it's good to know that there are people who actually do that in some sense. I'm not gonna be one of those people because it's like I don't really have anything interesting to show for that long. sure there may be people that would be interested in seeing all of my stuff on the Endless Loop, but I don't exactly have anything good enough for that. The hecticness of it all. It was literally hectic. Okay, this strip of the dripstone actually looks better than the default. Okay, this may be a sign that there's a mine shaft nearby. Here's something. In which case there is. What else is there to really talk about? This something I have to think about, but I do know that I'm gonna have to end this soon because it's basically 4:17. I don't know how I'm able to translate that and say that I intentionally set my phone up to be 2 hours behind. Apparently, I can still read at different time zones like that. That's just crazy. I literally self-taught that. Okay, how is that so perfectly spawned? Like, all you have to do is just get the water bucket, get some dripstone. Like, even that won't splash perfectly. He spawned and that's naturally set up as well. So yeah, there's just a lot. That's stuff I could be talking about. I should actually write down what to talk about, so I can easily be brought up when I need it to be. But instead of unorganized. Okay. This is an interesting setup for a mine shaft. Peace and peaceful, so I don't have to worry about anything. Ooh. An enchanted golden apple. Iron horse armor? Okay, oh yeah, that's some good shit. Now that chest. That's some actual good shit. Iron, got some rails, as per usual. So yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that goes on in my life. Wait. The fact that I'm even able to do this is a miracle. In some sense. I've been extremely dehydrated from all the stocking, and I don't think sweating is helping my case either. So yeah, there's a lot. Regular golden apple and an enchanted golden apple. That's really lucky. Whoa! Oh, that's good to hear. At least you figured something out. Yeah. But yeah, the good thing is that you at least figured something out with me. I just do random shit. I am getting insanely lucky because I wandered into a mine shaft and then it led to this, and then I found this area. Yeah. I have like one enchanted golden apple now, along with 2 regular golden apples, which is insane luck. Because normally I don't find, in like these random structures, connected to mine shafts so commonly. This seed is actually a pretty awesome sauce. Yeah, basically. Like, I just no wonder. What the? And here's another one. Holy shit, I have never been this lucky. More horse armor? What the fuck? This is some insane RNG for a Minecraft world. I'm definitely going to post the world seed on Twitter so people can actually check this out. Because this is actually pretty funny. Like, you could easily just speedrun for, like, rare loot at this point. If you really wanted to. I'm not even speedrunning this shit. Like, a seed that I unintentionally ended up with seed that's for that. Yeah, literally any percent. I found, like, a cherry blossom biome with, like, I believe 8 to 14 minutes or whatever. Actually, no, wait, I found the trail chambers around 14 minutes, and I found, like, the cherry blossom area within, like, 8. So, yeah, and I'm not even using a map to get around. I am just wandering around how to find cherry blossom biome with, like, the shortest amount of time ever. Just get this world for yourself. So that's literally one way to do it, and I already have plenty of diamonds. Yeah, I have yet to find that without anything. Like, I recall, like, crazily enough, there's this one world that I made on an old account, and I go to, like, a ruined nether portal, and the chest had, like, a lodestone in it, I believe. So yeah, I think they need to nerf the RNG on that. Like, you can't make that shit up. It's pretty funny. And I didn't even have a map for that either. I just had coordinates on. I actually had footage of that upload on an alternate YouTube channel. That's not entirely public. So it's like, it's just there. I swear, I have more luck in Minecraft than I do in a gacha game in general. These days, it's like, when I'm playing, like, Genshin Impact, I try playing for a character I want. I don't get the character. And yet, when I play Genshin Impact on my brother Jared's account, I get Nahida within, like, the final few hours of the banner. Or whatever. It's like, what the fuck? Like, even I end up with Nahida at the time. It was crazy. I wasn't even trying to get Nahida. I was hoping to lose my 50-50 to get a different character at the time. But no, luck is like, no, you're gonna get Nahida. I don't even use characters like Nahida in Genshin Impact. It's like, I got a character I'm never going to use. In which case, there are plenty of characters that I don't plan on using at all. Which is the crazy thing, so it's... like... some of the characters I have just exist on my account. I've even played Tower of Fantasy, which is actually better than people will say it is. It's basically one of those Genshin clones, or whatever you want to call it. And I know that there are plenty of people who will complain about it, but it's like the story's actually good, and the story also makes more sense. It's not as complex. Like, yeah, there's a mixture of stuff in there, but still, it's a lot more fun than Genshin, in my opinion. I just don't play gacha games as much as I normally would, because it's like, I don't exactly have the time for that. Tower of Fantasy is actually a pretty fun game once you get into it. Which is the good thing. Genshin Impact is interesting and all, but it's like discovering the lore on your own would take too long, and you'd have to watch like a bajillion videos. And I'm not someone who does that without a good reason. Like, it's better if I had to do that for the KOTOR games. And there's still a lot of things learning about those. So, yeah. Literally anything goes. In that regard. So much. Can just happen. Because it's like, there's gonna be one moment where you're just doing your own thing, and you learn something you didn't know how to do. Like, if anything, video games were my main source of education. Because schools barely did shit for that, I feel like. But then again, maybe it's because I just never really paid attention to my classes. But, yeah. It's basically like, okay, I can get through life without school. You know, that, like, I didn't really need to go to school because it's like, I am the way I am to the video games I've played. Yeah, crazily enough, that's basically how I learned a lot of words too. And I got into, like, the Persona games during, like, this decade. Like, I think it was, like, some time, like, a couple of years ago, if not a few years ago. Like, I think it was, like, back in 2022. And I learned a lot of shit from that as well. Interesting experience, the most interesting experience of my life, I would say. There's that stuff. But also for video games, I wouldn't be, you know, good at a lot of things. Like, nowadays I even use, like, video games for, like, inspiration for, like, storytelling. So it's just crazy. Hell, there was even, like, one point before I even started watching anime where I was told to stay away from Danganronpa due to Monokuma. It's like, then once I discovered the Danganronpa games and all that, during like this decade. It's like, okay, the stuff is not that bad. It's like, how can any of that be bad? Like, come on. Stupid. Danganronpa is really not that bad. It's like, if we're talking about the anime, yeah, it gets more darker than the games. But we're talking about the games, they're not that bad. Turns out how dark they get. Like, they're very educational, too. In their own way. So it's like, why would I be told to stay away from something so educational? It's just funny as hell. Like, back when I was a kid, like, in terms of, like, anime that was basically close enough to be kid appropriate, I grew up with, like, Dragon Ball Z Kai. Because I'd play on, like, Saturday morning cartoons. I just play visual novels at that point. If I want to read a lot, I'll just play a visual novel. Or hell, I could even boot up, like, Ace Attorney these days. If I really wanted to. Like, there's this underrated gem in the visual novel section. It's called Lucid 9 Inciting Incident. It's a mystery in visual novel that's an underrated gem. It's still a work in progress. However, Lucid 9 is so good. It's literally one of the best things I've experienced for reading. Like, you're looking for a good mystery story, that's got you covered right there. If you ask me, like, you cannot go wrong with some Lucid 9. And I actually have all the achievements for it on Steam. That's how good it is. I've even played it even after getting all the achievements. Because I just enjoyed it that much. It's crazy. The good thing is that Lucid 9 is free to play. So basically, if you search it up on Steam, you can easily just get it for free. And you can just download it. Sadly, nowadays, if you start a new game, like after you download Lucid 9, you'll be starting things that you'll know nothing about if you're new to the visual novel. And it's like you'd have to sit through the content that basically takes place after the main story. Because they put part 2 in front of part 1 for the new game. It's a bit disorganized. But fortunately, I know the context, so if you were to get it, I could easily explain the context to some degree, but at the same time, it's like I would prefer you just play the entire thing yourself, despite that problem. Because it's just that good. I'm not really sure why they put part of the story that's meant to come after the original stuff at the beginning, but it could be an organizing issue on their part, I don't know. However, the company that works on Lucid 9 is called Fallen Snow Studios. So, you know, it's actually something that's been in the works since, like, 2018, 2019 or something. I have to double check the information on that, but there's even a voice acting patch that's in the works too. Like, that's a thing as well. And you know, based off of the voice acting that I've heard from some clips on YouTube, it's actually not that bad. Like, it's not perfect, but, you know, things that the people who work on Lucid 9 do Kickstarters to get the funding for the entire thing. But what's crazy is that I don't think they're an indie corporation, even though they work at the pace of one. In terms of pacing, like, they're that slow. However, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, I do prefer companies who take their time regardless of whether it's an indie one or not. Because if things are rushed, then it's like the product is not going to be as enjoyable. And the thing is that Lucid 9 was actually the very first visual novel I played. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I found, like, this visual novel. I think I had to pay for it. And the thing is that the grammar and the spelling for it were so bad that you cannot even... that it was unreadable. I could not read a lot of the shit. And I didn't even sit through the entirety of it. And it's like, okay, if the grammar is going to be that bad, along with the spelling, I am not reading that. I'm not going to even sit through it all the way through. Like, that's just a huge turn-off point for me. Like, it's one thing if there's a typo here and there, but having so many back-to-back-to-back-to-back is a problem. Like, I'd get it if it were to be like a company that's not English, like, that doesn't understand English, because, you know, those companies tend to make more typos than English companies themselves. Yeah. Like, the crazy thing is that one of the other visual novels I end up getting, well, is primarily Russian, but the English translation is actually good as well, which is weird. It's like, depending on the visual novel you find, you may not get proper English. So it's really a train wreck. And then there's the fact that you have to be fluent in English in order to understand what's actually being said as well. And since, in which case that's not a problem for me, but if there's too much bad translation, I guess would be the proper way to put it, I'm not gonna understand what's going on regardless. It's just not gonna work. Like, it's only, like again, it's, yeah, that's basically it. And I'm not the only, like, obviously I didn't leave a review for it on, like, Steam, because I just didn't really feel the need to type it up, considering a lot of people have been complaining about it. But it's, like, okay, if it's that bad, why is it there? Like, who is going to sit there for the entirety of a visual novel that has horrible translation, like the worst translation you could think of? And I was just looking at their visual novels on Steam because, you know, I was obsessed with visual novels at the time. I just wanted to look for more, and yeah. Yeah. Thing is that it's not even, it wasn't even in testing, it was literally the final product. And that is a full-on death sentence, no matter how much you try and fix. Like, you can't just put that out there and expect people to buy that, especially after if they look at the reviews. Like if I were to reinstall that visual novel, I could literally name it for you, and you could easily see it for yourself. So unless they updated it since I checked it out, which I would highly doubt, considering that not all visual novels to get updated, there is just no way in hell you'd want to play it. Yeah, it's just that bad. And plus, it's not worth the money. Like, I had to actually pay for it. And I didn't really enjoy it. Like, I'm not even... Like, I'm just... Like, it's just sitting there in my library existing. So I'm just gonna hope one day it actually gets a full-on translation patch. I don't care if it's by the fucking... fan base or not. Yeah, it's literally just trash. You would not want to sit through that entire thing. Guaranteed. And obviously not all visual novels are like that. The good thing is that Lucid 9 is not one of those cases where it's like it's a full-on death sentence. Like, sure, it's an underrated gem. But it's not the worst visual novel. It's definitely better than the one that has the worst translation in existence. Like, if you're gonna make a visual novel and you're gonna have like translators for or like other languages, they should at least know enough to get things properly translated. Otherwise, just do your own research or whatever. Your works, depending on what's affordable. And make sure things actually make sense. Especially if you have, like, people who are fluent in English. As well. It's just one of those stupid situations. Like, I tend to be pretty fluent in English because it's obviously my main language, but it's like, I've been improving my grammar since, like, 2018. And the very first cell phone that I used was a literal flip phone, and not one of those smartphones. Not one. So it's like, I can literally text via both of those as well. Like, I'm pretty good at typing. So basically, despite the fact that I'm not multilingual or anything, I can get proper English out there. In most cases. Unless, of course, I'm not tired and I feel the need to type gibberish out of frustration. In which case, you're gonna have to let me cool down at that point. I just hated sitting through the amount of the visual novel with the worst translation that I did. Because, like, I will not get those few minutes of my life back. I just won't. Like, that's just gonna haunt me. For, like, the rest of my life. Like, I'd just prefer to stick with anything English related at that point. Like, the grammar wasn't even proper either. So it's like, not only was it a full-on translation error, the grammar was just iffy. It was like a little kid typed it up, despite doing iffy research on the translations. And I don't think that was the case, but it definitely looked like it. Like, if I were to show you screenshots, you'd be like, right, this. That's how bad it is. Like, if I remember the name of the visual novel, I'm just gonna have to... Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if that's the case, considering how bad the grammar is. I actually found that one of the good things is that when I was looking through visual novels on Steam, I actually found this other one I actually liked. And it had these Neko girls and stuff with like main characters, but it's not Neko Paro. It's an entirely different visual novel. And obviously, yeah, the entire thing is short, but it was actually enjoyable to read. You know that, like, there was even voice acting involved too, so it's actually an S tier visual novel, in my opinion. More underrated stuff. Basically, because, you know, why the hell not? And again, you literally have that stuff in my Steam library, so if that stuff is public on my Steam profile for like my entire game library, you can easily find that stuff. Like, you can literally see everything I have in my library. I even have my Steam account linked to my Discord account, so it's like I can so basically people will know if I'm logged into Steam for whatever reason. They're really that worried about what I'm up to. But I mainly play on console because it's just easier for me to play on a console than a PC in most cases. Like, I've done both, but I was one of those kids who grew up with like the consoles, like the PS2, the PS1, the GameCube, the Nintendo Wii, the original Xbox. Things like that. Like, the actual good shit of the gaming sections in life. And I know I've had my Steam account for like a long time as well, because I've had it before I started content creation, but I mainly got my Steam account because, one, I wanted to play the PC versions of both of the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic games, and two, I wanted to play Team Fortress 2. At the time. I don't know why I wanted to play Team Fortress 2 at the time, because it was a fun game, but it's like, when I went back to it just to see if it was really as bad as I heard it was just not it, because considering that the bots literally play like players, and that's an offline mode, for fuck's sake. Not a good experience nowadays, but Team Fortress 2 was a lot of fun to play back in the day. Yeah, I know that Team Fortress 2 had like some weird cheater problem or whatever, which is why the bots, like the actual bots that you can do PvP with, play as good as they do. However, I know that things are getting so bad on Steam to the point where people could easily get doxxed via Gmod if they get the wrong stuff. So, and I've played Gary's mod myself, so I know how good it actually is, but nowadays there are people who have doxed other players via downloadable mods on there. It's not the greatest anymore. Hell, even the online servers are essentially dead as hell, for the most part, depending where you look. Like, I know Prop Hunt was the most popular game mode on there, and that's actually a game mode I wanted to try, but since there's a risk of me getting doxxed, I'm just avoiding Gary's mod these days. I just don't want to touch it. Like, that's just not gonna happen. As much as I enjoyed playing the game, I'm just not gonna risk myself like that. Like, it's bad enough that I used to be involved in an online drama situation that involved a group of hackers, and I was trying to help get it to stop or whatever, or by spreading the word, but I almost became a target myself. Yeah, I know, Gary's mod was actually a lot of instant fun. But nowadays, it's like, you have to play on, like, private servers where it's not as bad. And then, in terms of, like, online drama, just generally speaking, especially on YouTube, I almost became a target of a group of hackers just because I was disagreeing with some information. I'm not going to go naming the group because I have a truce with them these days, so it's like, yeah, no, I am just not going to bother mentioning them anymore. Just to be safe. So, yeah, it was... Things have been hectic on the internet for, like, the past few years or so. Definitely a lot worse than what it was at the beginning. So yeah, it's just crazy to me. Like, when I started playing Minecraft, though, I was playing in this one server that was filled with adults. It was mostly adults. I was close to my teens, if not in my teens, somewhere around there. And basically, despite how peaceful the server can be at times, there would be times where I just wanted to make friends, and, you know, I just wanted to do my own thing, and I would just get cyberbullied for no reason. And this was back in, like, the 1.7.4 times, if I'm not mistaken, if not later than that. So yeah, it was literally chaos for me back then. At least I didn't get too toxic back when I was... until, like, 2018, so it's just one of those things. Where it's like, I'm not as bad. Although I don't know what happened to that server, because... because the last time I tried to get into it, I put in the correct information, and it just don't want to register for the server, so I think it got taken down or something. I don't know anything about what caused it to go down or anything. Like, I don't know what happened to its lifespan. Because I had to stop playing the PC version of Minecraft after a certain point. I think it was, I know it was after the combat update, in my case. Because there were too many incidents, like, there was, like, more than one instance where I'd have to have the laptop battery replaced, and I think the hard drive was having issues too. And it's due to unknown reasons. So it's like, I don't think... Yeah, the thing is that the name of the Minecraft server that I started out in was called Furry Minecraft, but it wasn't filled with actual furries. Most of the people there were actually just regular people. So I think it was just... And the name of the host of the server was Baku the Citra. And yes, I remember that username, because that's a name that was brought up quite frequently. Yeah, at random times. But obviously I didn't have any beef with the host. The host was rarely online, if at all. So, you know, I was just having beef with, like, some other players. for like no reason. And I was just an innocent person, just trying to do my thing, essentially. I live in the... Yeah, that's the thing that I didn't get. And ironically enough, um, the first official OC that I had, back when I started content creation, was literally a furry character. And I was not a furry, but I made a furry character. Without even knowing anything about furries. The irony behind that. This is weird. When you think about it. Like, I didn't even discover, like, lesbian content until, like, 2018 either, which is weird. But we don't talk about that stuff, because that stuff is a lot more awkward than the furry stuff. It was crazy, though. So yeah, it's like, I'm just doing my own thing in the Minecraft server. And I wanted to make friends, and I wanted to celebrate it every time I made a friend, but I just got teased for it. The thing is that I still identified as a male, so it's basically at that point in terms of my case, but yeah. The thing is that, and I didn't even know anything about furries. I only knew about like Neko girls, because considering I've seen like some top 10 anime videos. So my brother Jared downloaded his MP4s. So, yeah. It's crazy. Like, I watched like Sword Art Online back in 2018. Because my brother Jared actually had the first 2 seasons downloaded as MP4 because he pirated that stuff. It's like, before I watched Sword Art Online, I watched like Dragon Ball Z Kai on like Saturday morning cartoons. Like, that was actually a lot of fun for me back in the day. So, yeah, I basically am familiar with that side of the Dragon Ball franchise. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I've been doing a lot of things. Then, sometime later in 2018, I discovered like the Gacha Life community, and I joined that as well. And that's basically it. When I stopped being part of the furry side of things. I went by an entirely different username back in the day too. It's actually crazy. I think I actually saved a picture of the OC on one of my flash drives. Or the Gacha Life community is actually pretty chill. I was not part of the adult side of things, let alone involved with any of it. For the most part. So yeah, the Gacha Life community is actually pretty good for the most part. I just know that there are those adults that want to make inappropriate content and put a like a bad reputation on it. So yeah, I avoided the adult related channels for the Gacha Life community. And that's actually how I met one of my online friends I had back in the day. And crazy enough, was associated with that one specific line friend until like 2022. They decided to cut contact with me due to personal reasons. I'm not going to go mentioning their username from back then, let alone the username that they go by nowadays. I can't, I'm not allowed to say who it is, because I could, because I know that I said I'd keep my mouth shut as to who it is, but they know who they are. Obviously I'm pretty sure they stopped watching my content, but, you know, I'd rather just not risk anything. And just keep it myself. I am not allowed to say any specific names. So yeah, the Gacha Life community I wasn't fully part of until sometime in 2019. And crazily enough, the OC that I currently have has a Gacha Life design. Well, I like a Gacha Club design. Gacha Club is basically another Gacha Life app. There's like more than one of those. However, the OC that I'm currently using is basically from that, in particular. Believe it or not, so... yeah, it's basically something that's been set for a while, although the current OC was made like back in like 2021, 2022 originally, and then color scheme. Yeah, the reason why I'm not allowed to say who the person is because they're currently a pre-debut VTuber, and that's as far as I'm going to go on that topic. I am not saying who it is. But let's just say that if you were part of my community at the time when I knew them, then you most likely know who they are, but I'm not going to say anything past that. I was literally asked not to say who they are, specifically. But the thing is that I was never told that I can't reference them in any way. I just can't say their names. Like any of the usernames or anything, I can't say who it is. Like, I'm not allowed to. I have to keep my mouth shut. And since I'm not allowed to contact them anymore, I don't exactly want to say who they are anyway. Because it's like I don't want to have them use an alt account to tell me to not mention them. So it's like I am not going to do that. They basically have me blocked, I have them blocked, and that's it. No drama. No, they're like no, there's zero drama that happened between me and that person. So, everything ended up peaceful for that part. Like, they have their reasons for not wanting to be in contact with me, and they didn't want to say what those reasons were. You know, I was curious to know what they are. You know, that, like, I want to know what the reasons were, but I was just told that they're personal enough to the point where they just don't want to talk about it, so I just stopped asking for the reasons. Because, obviously, you know, if it's something they say they can't talk about, despite how much they trust me, that's just how it is. I have no right to push further information on that, because it's like, I'm not gonna waste my time trying to get information that's too personal in that regard. I just know that I made a lot of my information public. But obviously I didn't go leaking my own address or anything. I did not do that, because that'd be stupid of me to do, unless of course I really trust that person that well. Oh shit. Okay, apparently I have to do the next live stream. But then again, okay, yeah, I have to switch games. It's past... I've been chatting for a long time, but then again... Yeah, I get that. I only make details that I want that should be known to be known. Just so people at least know where I'm coming from and all that. But the good thing is that I have plenty of my information still private, like kept to myself. So it's like even if they were to look into who, just so that way people can try to look into who I am, they won't know who I am without digging hard enough. And obviously, I don't encourage that because people don't need to know anything that I keep to myself. Like, information I keep to myself stays private. And that's just that. Anything past that is just no one's business. Not unless I really make it their business, but... yeah. A lot of stuff. I think after I get these chests planted, I'm gonna get the next live stream going, and then we can continue the conversation. Unless of course you have something else to do, but, you know. Either way, it's only if you're interested in doing that. I've been chatting with so much, I'm gonna have to get a drink. I have no idea what you responded with, because I have not seen that one before. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to deal with the next live stream, and then I'll have to do like 2 others after that. The day's gonna be real hectic, and then tomorrow, like the next 10 days, it's gonna be even more hectic. Due to the amount of work I have to do. The things I do, though. I'm probably gonna have to take a momentary break and like after in this live stream, though, just because I need to get a drink or something. And yeah, there's a whole lot. So yeah, next live stream is Tales of Symphonia Remastered, and I actually have that one installed ahead of time, which is the good thing. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff. We're gonna have to push things a little bit back, though, since I need to get a drink, and that's gonna... I might want to have a little snack as well. So... yeah, that's just how it's gonna have to be. For now. Anyway, I'll just end things here. and I'll be back with another live stream in possibly like another 30 minutes tops.